Well, if we're gonna find any ghosts, we better split up.
You're listening to Never Split Up, a horror movie podcast.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Hello, everyone, once again to the Never Split Up podcast. My name is Nolan, along with Anthony, and today is episode 87. We have a very special ranking for you. We are ranking our top 10 favorite chase scenes in horror history. What's going on, Ann? How you doing?
I'm doing great. We just finished up our Final Destination coverage. I had a blast with that. I saw probably one of my favorite horror movies over the weekend in theaters. We got some cool trailers coming out with Stranger Things and Black Phone 2, which surprisingly looks fucking amazing. We're eating good. We're eating good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited too. So this episode was your idea, and
Yes,
I was
I
like,
don't know why
okay,
I
that
did
sounds
this.
cool. Like I love a ranking episode. The closer we've gotten though to this episode, the more and more excited I'm getting. I know chase scenes are near dear to your heart. I mean, who doesn't love a good chase scene, especially in horror? But I'm really looking forward to this ranking. I think it's going to be really fun. I think we're going to get some good content, and we'll get some good clips out of it, hopefully, and
Yeah.
we'll try to drive this episode. And this is just a fun little episode for, the warmer weather, slashers, chase scenes, all that. It's all kind of goes hand in hand. So, and like you said, yeah, we are eating good with the new releases. We're going to get back to our coverage of movies and new release movies in particular moving forward. But before we do that, do you want to announce next week we actually have a really special episode coming out? It's not a new release. It's kind of the opposite of that. But why don't you announce that real quick?
Yeah, so first of all, guys, I ran the polls, our last two polls for Final Destination. We're going to announce it next week because I just ran them, today as we're recording, so I want to get more votes. You guys really did a good turnout for those, so thank you for voting for that. But next week, we are going back to a classic, and we are covering The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I had a blast recording.
Yeah, me too. And we have a very special guest joining us is Rachel from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
And by her name, you can tell that she loves Creature from the Black Lagoon. She has a pretty big collection, and she was kind of our resident expert on the movie for the episode because we weren't, too familiar about, how it was made and all that. So we had her on, and I thought it was a really, really interesting discussion. So I'm really excited to get that out to you guys next week. That's going to be next week's episode. And then, yeah, we're going to be right back into our new releases.
Yeah, I really had a good time talking that movie with her. I think she brought really good insights, and I thought our conversation flowed really well. So make sure you guys check that episode out when it drops. And then, like Nolan said, we're getting back for the next pretty much month and a half. We're going to be doing like originals and then the sequels and stuff and getting all the new releases in. So look out for Megan, look out for 28 Weeks Later, look out for I Know What You Did Last Summer, look out for all the new ones coming out. So we're getting back to it.
Yeah, I thought it flowed well too, and definitely check her out on social media, Rachel from the Black Lagoon. She's awesome, and we'll have to try to have her back on because it was a good episode, and you guys will see that next week. And yeah, a lot of good stuff coming up in the pipeline, so stick out for that. Look out for that. Okay, without further ado, let's get into these chase scenes. As always, we're gonna, I think, start with some honorable mentions because it's really hard for us to narrow down 10, and then we'll kind of take it from there. And you want to kick us off? I know you probably have a bunch you want to talk about.
I can't help it. But guys, Nolan said it was my idea and I was so amped. But then when I got to it, I'm like, what did I do to myself? Because this gave me a big headache to narrow this list down. And guys, slashers are my favorite subgenre. And chase scenes are a huge part of the slasher genre. And that's to me, my secret ingredient in them. And we've been missing it lately. So this is very important to me. And I could have made a fucking top 10 chase scenes with Jamie Lee Curtis alone. That's how fucking crazy. This is just insane. But yeah, let's get to an honorable mention. I'm going to start with the biggie. It's going to be a surprise that it's on my honorable mention. But again, I can't have my whole list be Scream Halloween. So my honorable mention is going to be Casey Becker, the original opening scene from Scream. We talk about how it's an iconic sequence with Drew Barrymore. Once he breaks into that house, it's pretty much a chase until her, unfortunate demise. And I just think, again, we already covered that movie, but it's just suspense. Wes Craven, masterpiece. So I didn't put it on the list just because she's in one scene, which is, I mean, that's no shade to her. It's just so iconic, but I have other, we're going to talk about Scream again, and just, I have other protagonists I want to talk about, but obviously I'm in love with that opening scene. It's a great chase. It's a gut punch of a scene because, again, you're screaming at her to just run through the friggin' woods or whatever, the cornfield to go to her parents' job, and you're screaming at it, doing everything it's supposed to do in a chase scene. So obviously, I love me some Scream, and I love the OG Casey Becker chase.
Okay. I will kick us off with another really big franchise for me that didn't make my top 10. It's going to be the chase scene in Halloween H2O.
Which one?
Very classic. Yeah, which one? I know the one with Laurie at the end.
Okay.
When Michael's chasing her through the cafeteria and everything. That one is borderline all timer. I mean, it probably is. I think it's the same scenario. I kind of have the franchise already represented on my top 10, so I didn't want to just make this a Halloween top 10. We could have definitely done that with franchises like Halloween and Scream. So this was just the one, to no fault of his own, it just didn't make the cut, but I had to bring it up. It's an all-timer. Me and you are both defenders of H2O, so I know you love those chase scenes as well in that movie, but really, really solid.
I'm going to piggyback off you. I mean, I'm going to talk about H2O right now. I love that chase with Laurie. It's so iconic. I just love that it starts out with her like going back to chase him, but then he gets a little bit one up on her and chases her. She's underneath the tables in the cafeteria, crawling under them, throwing knives at him. It's so iconic. But I'll also bring up, I honestly think my favorite chase scene, besides the Laurie stuff, I love the Molly and John chase through the campus to get to the gates when they drop the keys and then he has to get the keys to try to get them. I thought that was so good. I remember the first time I saw it, I was on the edge of my seat just because I didn't really think I didn't think Laurie was going to die, but that chasing, I'm like, is he going to kill one of them, John or Molly? He's going to kill both of them. John gets stabbed in the leg. He's like fighting through the gate with the knife. So that to me is also an iconic chase in H2O.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll throw out a quick one. I think that I really adore the chase scene at the end of Child's Play 2 with Andy and Kyle in the toy factory when Chucky's chasing them through there. It's just, to me, it's just Child's Play, Chucky on overload. So I adore that. I love when a kid's getting chased in a horror movie. It heightens the stakes. And I just think that sequence got really dark and bloody and just fun for a Child's Play movie. So I absolutely adore that one. And I adore that movie so much. We'll cover it, but I love it.
I want to cover that soon. I want to get back into that franchise, Child's Play 2, yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to go with a new one for an honorable mention. I'm going to go with last year's Oddity. I thought that was a really suspenseful sequence. That whole movie is suspenseful. I don't want to get too much into it with spoilers. And guys, just so you guys know, we're going to be talking about spoilers for all these movies because it's hard not to.
We should have said that.
But with this one, I'll kind of keep it at that because it's a new release. But at the end of this movie, there's a really cool chase scene, and it's kind of slow and dreadful, but it is really intense, and it's kind of an edge of your seat movie, and that's a really good one. So check out Oddity if you haven't already.
I love that pick, and I cannot wait. I want to really cover that new one too because I want a reason to rewatch it. I'm just gonna do a couple like little punches here with my creature features just to get them out of the way. Do you remember? Of course, it's Jaws. The scene in the morning when the two fishermen are like on the pier on the dock, and then the pier collapses.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that terrified me. When you saw Jaws like chasing the guy, I'm like, I don't know. That always stuck with me. It freaked me the fuck out. So that to me always stuck with me as like a shark chase scene. And also, just to give Jurassic Park the OG some love, I think it really is a horror movie, whereas the later ones are action movies. The raptors, when they're chasing Ellie in the underground, whatever it's called, that was amazing. And also the kitchen and like the visitor center with the kids when the raptors are chasing them. I thought that to me was, it's been replicated so much in homage. I thought that was primetime chase scene fun. And then even like in fucking Deep Blue Sea when the shark's chasing LL Cool J like throughout the water into the kitchen, I thought that was awesome shark chasing fun. So those are my three like creature features to just knock off the list just to give them some love.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have Deep Blue Sea as well as my honorable mentions. Yeah, that's a great nostalgic chase scene with LL Cool J in the oven.
So good.
And the shark's trying to get at him.
Poor
it's
bird.
Cool. It's really cool. Yeah, that's a really well done scene. I'm gonna go with My next one, I don't really have many left. I'll go with another newer one. I'm gonna go with and it's no fault of its own. This should have been in the top 10, but it's just not quite long enough. I feel like it was a little bit too short to make it. But Hereditary, the ending of Hereditary,
Yeah, that's on my own
when
list. We'll
when
talk about
she's
it.
on the ceiling and he's misdirected by the naked person in the doorway and
Poor
she comes
Peter.
out from the corner. It's just a masterclass in tension. And when she's chasing him up into the attic, it is so intense. It only lasts a few seconds, but the score, the build up in the score, and then when the score falls away and it's just silence, and then you get the jump scare of her running into him, it's just amazing. It's
Dude.
short, but it's effective.
It's so fucking good. I'm happy that you brought it up because I was like, all right, we got to talk about Hereditary at some point. I just think it makes it so scary because the person who's supposed to love him and care about him the most is literally trying to end him. And, you know, so I just think it's horrifying and it's heartbreaking that his mom is chasing me. When he's begging his mom, like, mommy, please stop. Like, he's resorting to, like, going back to his, like, a child, like a 5-year-old, like, begging her to stop. I don't know. Hereditary's a masterpiece.
It's so depressing because she was always in his corner the whole movie.
Yep.
And now, and when you see her on the ceiling, you're just like, oh fuck, and you're like, oh, he's fucked, yeah.
I couldn't agree more with that. All right, I'm gonna do a newer one. You saw The Empty Man, correct? Because if you didn't, I don't want to give away. Okay.
No, I saw it. Yeah.
So there's a sequence when James, our lead, is like, I don't know if it's a campground or he's in the woods, middle of nowhere, and there's a point where he looks up and there's a whole cult, and they just stare at him and chase him. When I saw that scene in the theater, I was freaked out, had chills, but I was smiling with glee and joy because of how effective that chase was, and I'm obsessed with that sequence in that movie. That movie's underrated. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. And Disney, fuck you for not releasing it on Blu-ray yet. You have to do that. I'm obsessed with that movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I forgot about that scene. I've only seen that movie, I think, once, so I really want to revisit that. Yeah. Okay. I have, like, I guess one more. It's This is a fun one. It's American Psycho. When, you know, he's chasing, I forget the character's name, who he's chasing through the hallway.
Oh,
and he's
the girls.
naked.
Yeah,
it's iconic and it's fun, but it's not going to make my list. But I thought that was a fun shout out. Right, I don't really have any more, so if you want to rattle off,
I'll just rattle off a couple quick, then we'll get into it. The movie Turistas with Josh Jamal from like the late 2000s. There's the end of that movie. There's an underwater cave chase scene, and for someone who's claustrophobic, that absolutely had me on the edge of my seat and feeling like I couldn't breathe. So I had to mention that one. It's iconic. The movie is like kind of a Hostel ripoff, but I still enjoy it. But the end sequence chasing, I don't know how the hell they even filmed that. It's so damn good. Tara from Terrifier, again, I just wanted to shout out Terrifier 1 because I feel like 2 and 3 get all the love. But I think the chase sequence with Tara in the beginning of that movie, the first half of that movie pretty much, is pretty sweet and all-timer. She's so good on her, her unfortunate demise. It's surprising too. So I love that one in Terrifier. This one's not in my top 10 to kill me, but Danny in The Shining, going through the maze at the end. Love that so much. Obviously, we'll cover The Shining one day. My favorite thriller of all time is Red Eye. Lisa, my girl Rachel McAdams. That's an honorable mention. It's not my top 10 just because I try to stick to straight horror slashers, but that's my favorite chase scene in thriller history. Again, Wes Craven being the master that he is. I love it.
Okay, so you're only doing slashers for your top 10, or?
Yeah, I mean, because
really?
Wow,
that really pigeonholes you. Okay.
Yeah,
I went with just horror, straight up horror in general, so I'm going to have different subgenres, cool. So I think our lists are going to be pretty different.
Well, that's good. All right, I couldn't because slashers are like my favorite chases and like whatever. I'll just rattle off like 3 more and then we can get to it. I think the Clarice and Buffalo Bill scene in Silence of the Lambs at the end is so damn effective when she's in the pitch black. And I didn't put it on because it's more of a stalking scene than a chase. She's almost chasing him to catch him. But I mean, when he stalks in the pitch black, the first time I saw that, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was like, I don't know how this girl's doing it. I would be dead. Like, he would probably get me. Nancy from the OG Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the ending when he's chasing her through the house and she has the booby traps. Iconic. Wendy from the original Prom Night, I think that's one of the more respected chase scenes. I love it. It's so long. It's just that character, I wasn't rooting for her to live, so it didn't really make my top 10 just because I was fine with her dying. But again, that's an all-timer chase. And I'll just do one more. Brandy from I Still Know You Do Last Summer. Those 2 movies are known for their chase scenes, and they better give us some good chase scenes in the new one, because that is what that franchise is known for. And I think that her whole chase through the hotel and then to like the whatever we want to call the flower room or whatever, so iconic. Yeah, I'm bummed out that I couldn't include some of these on my list, but
yeah, there was 2 or 3 in there that I thought for sure was going to make your top 10. So I'm really curious.
I told you I can make a whole top 10 about Jamie Lee Curtis just on my top 10. I mean, her and Terror Train, I left out. You've never seen that movie, we'll have to cover it, but the whole ending is her being chased through a train. It's so fucking good. So yeah, let's get to it. Because I'm so upset that I left these out. So
that was a top 10 list all in itself. I
know.
You might as well just do a top 20.
I know.
All right. We got that out of the way. Let's get to the real list then. We'll start at number 10. I will go first.
Okay.
And at number 10 for me, and guys, I shouldn't have to say this, but these are just all-timers for me.
Oh, yeah.
It was really hard to rank these top 10. So just because this one's at 10 doesn't mean it's not as good as the others. I mean, it's my 10th favorite of all time, which is a big deal. So it just comes down to personal preference and more about kind of, if I grew up with them or not and stuff, especially the top 5. It's more about kind of how I feel about them as a kid. So they're all ridiculously, insanely good in my mind. But this one, I'm going to kick off number 10 is the subway scene in American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
Classic scene. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. We covered this movie, so check out that episode. I know you don't feel as strongly as I do about this movie, but this chase is not super long, but it's so damn effective. And I know you preach less is more and not showing all the goods. The shot at the top of the escalator, when he's on the escalator and you see the werewolf just come into frame and then it cuts before you see the full thing. Goosebumps every time I watch it still, because I just go back to when I watched it as a kid and I was so terrified of that werewolf. It is so effective. It's not super long, but it is one of the more terrifying chase scenes in my top 10 for sure.
Love that. If you remember when we covered the episode, that was my favorite sequence of the entire movie. So
yeah,
hell yeah, I love that. And I love how in the beginning they didn't show it all, but they built up to it. It's like really, really well executed. I absolutely adore that portion of that movie. All right, so you're starting off big. You're starting off with like a werewolf classic, and mine's like a 2000s movie. All right, hell yeah. All right, guys. My number 10 is completely different from something like that. My number 10 is going to be Paige Paris Hilton from House of Wax.
Nice.
Her chase scene. I fucking adore House of Wax. It's one of my favorites of the 2000s. And Paris Hilton, she was in for the game. She knew what she was doing. And she brought her A game, I feel like, to that chase scene. She was so in on it. I feel like she was such a good trooper in that movie. She was like promoting herself dying and all that. But the chase scene is so well done. I love how she wakes up in the tent calling for her boyfriend. It's pitch black. And she turns on the light expecting to see him. But it's the killer. And then she goes out and sees that her boyfriend was stabbed in the neck. And then she's chased to the warehouse. She's stabbed in the foot. It's just so well executed. It has that 2000s charm mixed with the chase scenes of the 90s. I actually wanted her to live. I was rooting for her. I'm like, no, don't kill her. She can make it out. She can make it out. Unfortunately, she doesn't. But I just think the music, the setup, her screaming, the buildup of her getting injured, going in the car, getting the weapon, stabbing in the face, thinking she's going to get away, and then him just to get that cheap shot in at her. I thought it was so well done. I adored that movie, and I love me some chase scenes and slashers, obviously, and I think this is a good way to kick off my list just to give you guys a little flavor of what's to come.
Okay.
I love
that's a great sequence. I adore that movie as well. And most clever marketing campaign ever. Watch Paris die.
Paris die. Remember that?
Paris die, yeah. So fucking clever, because she was so hated back in the day.
I know, and she's
it was great. So yeah, for sure. That's a great sequence. Okay, let's get to number 9 then. And this is been another big deal for me. Again, these are all kind of biggies for me, but it's going to be the laundry chute chase in Halloween 5. My girl Jamie. We've talked about this movie in our rankings and our coverage of the franchise. I adore this sequel. I think it's the most underrated sequel in the franchise. This sequence might have been the start to my claustrophobia as a kid. I mean, this scene, talk about claustrophobia when she's in the laundry chute and Michael's up top and then he's down below her. He's trying to reach up for her and she's hanging on by her fingertips. It is so intense. And Michael's power level at this point, we're on the 5th installment, is so great. and he has so many kills under his belt to main characters in the franchise just in that movie alone that you really feel for Jamie. I mean, you think that she might die at the end and that they're not going to pull any punches. So you really feel it in that scene. I know they made some questionable choices in that movie, but that sequence alone, if you just watch that sequence alone, it's fucking phenomenal. I love it so much, and it just takes me right back to when I was Jamie's age watching that movie and just being so scared for her.
Yeah, I think that's so special because I think we were around her age when we saw these two following 4 and 5. And that scene is just, it's one of the, I've said it on our rankings, I've done an episode with Phil on his, it's one of the best sequences in the entire franchise. It's so damn good. They even had to edit out because he stabs her, and in the original cut, they show her like bloody leg, and you can even see a cut in the movie where she's all bloody, but they had to edit out because it was so gruesome to see a child in so much peril. But I hate how people are like, the house doesn't even look like the OG. I'm like, just, it's a fucking fun Halloween 5 movie. I put in my head, like my own canon, like someone bought it to renovate it, and then like people were like trashing it, so they just let it get run down. Like I could make my own. Come on, we're on Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I can make my own headcanon to how it makes sense to have that house. But I think it makes for a perfect chase scene having that house, and I absolutely adore Jamie Lloyd, Daniel Harris, and I couldn't agree more. I'm happy that that's on your top 10. Hell yeah. All right, so you're two biggies for your 10 and 9. I wonder what those are.
Yeah,
Right.
they're all biggies. I'm telling you, I promise.
I agree. So I am going to go with get to Friday the 13th franchise, and my number 9 is going to be, although I love Ginny, and I think her chase at the end of part 2 is all-timer awesome, I actually prefer my number 9 is Chris from Friday the 13th part 3. She's my favorite final girl of the franchise, and I think that her chase, with him in the hockey match just does something. And she's chased all over the place. I love how she's chased through the house, and then she goes to the car. I always freaked out when she's on the van and she's on that little bridge and she runs out of gas, and she has that like extra fuel thing to like give her some extra juice, but then he comes to the window and hits his head in, and it's just so well executed. And then she runs to the barn. She's chased through the whole barn. I think it might be the longest chase scene in that franchise too, if I'm not mistaken. It's so damn good. I love me some Jason. I love me some Friday the 13th, and I just think that Chris's chase in part 3 is just one of the all-time great 80s slasher chase scenes, and it doesn't really get more 80s and fun than that. And again, my theme for my top 10 is like I want all these people in these chase scenes to make it out. So I was really rooting for her, and I love that she's triumphant. He does a number on her mentally though at the end. She's a little cuckoo. But I fucking love Friday the 13th Part 3 so much, and I love that chase scene. It's my favorite of the franchise.
I'm glad you brought up Friday the 13th. I forgot to bring this up. So I don't have any chase scenes in my top 10. I adore that franchise. Obviously, you look behind me, I have the right. Jason mask. I just think there's so many awesome chase scenes in this franchise, and there isn't one that kind of sticks out to me. They're all so good and at the same level that I wanted to give the whole franchise a shout out, and I forgot to before we started this, so I'm glad you brought that up, but they're all great. I mean, part of the final chapter, there's an iconic chase scene, part 2, you talked about Ginny. Yeah. There's some great ones in the remake, which I love. So, I mean, they're scattered with great chase scenes. I mean, that's just an iconic slasher franchise. So, not quite on my top 10, but I'm glad that it's on yours for sure.
Who would have thought that I'm the one with the Friday the 13th
yeah, I know.
My top 10.
I know. Because it's one of those, like, you do it and you open
Pandora's
box. Yeah, you do
one. It's like, exactly. I can put this one on, yeah.
So, and there's just so many good ones that I just wanted to save space. So, okay. Especially because I'm not doing just slashers. And this is the case here with my number 8. I have the airport chase in Red Eye.
Oh,
all-timer.
Yes, so
all-timer. All-timer. I think this might be Wes Craven's best chase scene. It's tough.
I don't know.
He is the master of chase scenes, but this scene is just so thrilling. I mean, it's a thriller movie, and this encapsulates everything. You finally get to the end of the movie where they land. I mean, we've been on this, if you guys haven't seen the movie, they've been on this red-eye flight for the entire film. They finally land. The chase starts on the plane when she kind of gets him in the neck, in the throat, and then they finally open those doors and she breaks free. And she gets onto the, onto the ramp, and she gets into the terminal and everything. And she's so clever. I love this chase because not only is she running away from him, but The security is also after her, so she's hiding in cafes, she's pretending to be kind of customers, and she's holding up menus, and she's trying to be sneaky. She's not just bolting. So I think it was really smart strategic play, and that kind of gives it that extra dimension. And the whole time she's running in heels, which is awesome, so iconic. And yeah, this is a really, really fun chase. And I love what they did, especially I wanted to shout this out, the moving walkway when she's running down the moving walkway. I love how they added that to make her trip, because a lot of times in chase scenes people trip for no reason, but that's like a really realistic way to
That's a Wes Craven touch right there.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, you're leaving the walkway, so of course you're gonna trip. You're going full speed and she's in heels, so that was really clever too. But yeah, that's just an all-timer for me.
I'm so
love
happy.
that scene.
So happy. It's literally my favorite thriller of all time, and I'm obsessed with that sequence. You literally go from the airport to the railway, whatever you want to call it, the train, and then to the car, so she can. Also, she's trying to rush home to save her dad. So then you go to the car, and then you go to the house, and there's a whole other chase scene in the house. It's like chase.
I know. I wanted to add that too, but I just stuck to the airport.
Yeah, it's just literally chase scene from landing to the end of the movie. So again, all-timer iconic. I mean, Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy and Wes Craven, you're gonna have a good all-timer chase. So I'm so happy. Okay, my number 8 is going to be Sasha Tara Reid from Urban Legend. Again, I'm a 90s kid. I love my 90s movies, and Tara Reid, Sasha sequence in Urban Legend, she doesn't get enough credit. She was a 90s, 2000s icon. I love how she's in a radio station, so she's on air, and then it cuts off, and then she can't see through the window, the two-way mirror. She thinks it's her producer or friend or whatever, and then the light flashes, and it's the guy in the coat. So damn good. And I love how the people at the party hear her crying and screaming for help, and they think she's just reenacting the massacre. So it's just like, oh, this poor girl. And she almost makes it. She fights. It's such a good extended chase. I love me an extended chase. And then it just breaks my heart when she's just begging at the end. She's just cowered in the corner, and she's just begging for her life. And my girl gets axed to death. But I'm rooting for her. I wanted her to make it out. And I think it's unique that there was a chase scene throughout a radio station like that, and it was so iconic, so good. You have our protagonist trying to run to save her as she's, getting chased and killed. It's chef's kiss. I love me some 90s slashers, and this is a really, really awesome one.
Okay. You got a theme going here in your list. I mean, you like what you like. Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. No, that's on a lot of people's lists. I was doing some research.
Oh, yeah?
Was
it?
A lot of top 10.
I was like, I hope so, because I love that scene.
Yeah, it is pretty adored.
Okay.
Let's get to our next one then. Keep moving along. Number 7. This is one you're going to be talking about later, but for now, it's number 7 for me. It's Helen Shivers. I know you did last summer.
Okay.
It's got everything, this chase. It is super drawn out. It's long. It's very physical and dynamic, the way she kind of is running from Ben Willis. And it's got an iconic scream when she screams in the middle of the tree. I love that scream. It's one of my favorite screams in horror. And yeah, there's nothing bad to say about it. We're kind of getting into the territory where it's kind of like, personal preference on like nostalgia and how I feel about these. I didn't grow up with this movie like you grew up with this movie. But there's no knock to this scene at all. I mean, so heartbreaking, obviously, when she doesn't make it. I think that her not making it is what solidified this chase scene into being timeless. It was iconic already, but now it's timeless because everyone talks about how she just didn't make it. I think if she would have lived, it would still have been good, but I think it was the right call, although heartbreaking, and you want to see her live because, we all love Sarah Michelle Gellar, but it's just such an all-timer moment where she's in the alley and he finally catches up to her, but he does a damn good job running away from him for such a long time. And like I said, it's very dynamic. You go through different kind of set pieces in the chase, and it's just so well done. I know we're going to be talking about this again.
Perfect no notes for that chase scene. Yeah. Let's just say that. I'm just so happy that Sarah Michelle Gellar stuck to her guns, because I know the creator and the director of the new movie is like really close friends with her, and they're like, how do we figure out how to say she lived? I'm like, no, don't ruin what? Like, so she's like, no, I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. I'm like, thank you, girl.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy, and it's legendary, that sequence. That's all I'll say. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But all right. My number 7 is Jamie Lloyd from Halloween 5, the laundry chute
nice.
sequence.
Nice.
So,
I didn't know if that was going to make it. Wow.
Fucking love it. I just want to give a shout out because I was struggling. I also think the car chase in the cornfield from Halloween 5, when I was a kid, that terrified me. You have Jamie screaming when he's at first going after Tina. She's like, no, here, come get us. Poor her and poor Billy get chased. Billy's almost killed. I just think that Danielle Harris, again, her acting is like A+ child acting, like probably my favorite child performance of all time in 4 and 5. And when he's just chasing her through the cornfield alone, that sequence is amazing between Tina, Billy, and Jamie. But again, you said it. I mean, the chase in the house, I think that house is built perfectly for a set piece chase sequence, and they take advantage of it. The whole third act is just him chasing Jamie. And once you get to that laundry chute scene, it just elevated it to all-timer status for me. I mean, he's stabbing through that thing, really going for it, and the poor girl is trying to do a pull-up to get up. Her feet are literally falling on the knife, so the knife's like almost holding her up. It's perfect directing, honestly. And I don't care. Fuck you, Halloween 5 haters. I love that movie, but that sequence is so good. So we already talked about it, but guys, if you haven't watched that movie because you're afraid of the negativity, it has stuff to back it up, even if you take out the hokey stuff and just watch that part for fun. It has some mean slasher chase moments, so I adore it. So Halloween 5. We have our first overlap. So yeah, nice. Jamie Lloyd, Halloween 5.
I love it. Love it so much. That's awesome. Great. Yeah, no notes. Again, I just talked about it. And yeah, go watch Halloween 5 if you haven't in a while. It's great. I was thinking about, I'm glad you brought up the car sequence. I was thinking about adding a car chase to my top 10. I couldn't quite figure out what to add. You know, I adore High Tension. There's a car chase.
I'm surprised you have High Tension on your list.
Yeah, honestly. I just left it off. I wanted to kind of keep it more kind of traditional with, not car chases, but you have like Death Proof if you consider that a horror movie.
I was going to put Joyride on it, but number one, I know you haven't seen it yet, so I want to wait to talk about it. And number two, I'm like, I just have like iconic real chase scenes, so I have to put it on here.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the whole movie's a chase scene pretty much, right?
I mean, if there's one sequence I don't want to talk about because it's so damn good, but yeah, it's like it hurts me to not put it on, but like I got these slashes I got to get in.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 6 then. Number 6 for me is a movie that we champion. It's, I think you agree with me, one of the most underrated sequels of all time. It is going to be the sailboat scene in Jaws 2.
Fucking love Jaws 2, guys.
Yes, me too.
Talk to me about my ranking, because it's Catch Me on a Certain Day, and I don't know what one's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the first Jaws will always be my favorite. It's just a masterclass. But in terms of chase scenes, the sailboat capsize scene, when it's all kids in the sailboat, and Bruce, or whatever you want to call him, is capsizing the boats, and he's circling them, and he's going after them. It's so intense. Obviously, the score is iconic, just like the first movie. The tension is just so high. You think one of them's going to definitely get it at any time. You think maybe multiple kids are going to get it. Him just relentlessly attacking them over and over and circling back around. Like I said, it's all kids, so they're out there all alone. There isn't like a Brody to kind of protect them, so they're very vulnerable. I think that's the best kind of quote-unquote chase scene in the franchise. Yeah, I adore Jaws 2. It's just such a good movie.
Jaws 2 is a slasher in water. It's a slasher movie in the ocean. It's so good. I can't remember. I know Michael's the older kid's name, but the scene when the little boy, when the woman's trying to push him up on the boat after it capsized, and he keeps slipping, and then she can't get up. I'm like, oh,
that's what I always go back to in that
into
sequence,
my brain. That part every time, and the kid just watches, the shark just take her whole. God, I fucking love Jaws 2, so I'm happy you brought it up. I mean, we'll cover Jaws, and we'll cover Jaws soon, but goddamn, that sequel again does not get enough love. I think it's underrated. The film snobs don't like it because of the OG, but I don't care. I fucking love Jaws 2. All right, I love that you have that on there. All right, my number 6. I mean, we're getting to a biggie. It's my girl Sydney Prescott. I'm gonna go with the chase in Scream 3 just covered Scream 3, and I adore her chase scene on the stab set. I think it's iconic not just because we're having a all-timer final girl get chased, but she's getting chased through her memories of her mom's death and what she just went through a few years prior. So I think mentally it kind of fucks. She's not just automatically this Terminator-esque, like, I'm gonna kick ass, because she's dealing with some mental, trauma. So it's just heartbreaking when he's chasing her through the house, and she obviously gets one up on him because she's Sydney fucking Prescott, but it just breaks my heart when the way Roman just fucks with her and then goes under the mom and the crime scene, and then give mommy a kiss and we'll make up. That to me is one of the creepiest moments in the entire franchise, when he does that and goes towards her. So I just think, again, Nev Campbell's acting mixed with the chase. I love that it's a set, so it's not like she's as familiar. She's not like in her childhood home. She's like has to get used to the layout of the set, so she almost falls out in that one scene, but she used it to her advantage to like throw Ghostface off onto the bed. I just think it's so well executed, and I just love how it ends with her calling out for Dewey for help. So again, heartbreaking, but just so well directed. And just while I'm on it, I'll give her her shout out also, the finale of Scream 3, when she's chased through the mansion. You want me, motherfucker, come and get me, awesome. And her chasing the OG after she finds she sees Tatum's body and she's like falls off the roof. She like chased around a bit. I know we talked about that extensively already, but I'm gonna go with the Stab 3 set piece. But again, Sydney does have really good chase scenes throughout the original trilogy. So again, you knew Sydney was gonna come up on my list at some point. So she's my number 6.
Okay, number 6. This is my second favorite chase scene in the Scream franchise. We covered Scream 3 recently. Go check out that episode. We feel very differently. I'm not a huge fan of the movie, but I am a huge fan of this chase scene. It's the highlight of the movie for me. I talked about it. I love how it's like you said, it's on set, so you have like fake doors and doors that go to nowhere, and it's really creative and really well done. And yeah, the way he fucks with her is really clever. And again, it's Wes Craven. I mean, it's doesn't get much better than Wes Craven. But with that note, number 5 for me is my favorite chase scene in the Scream franchise. Oh. It's going to be Casey Becker.
Oh, hell yeah. She made
the original Scream.
I felt so bad.
The original Scream, number 5 for me, Casey Becker. It's my favorite sequence in the whole franchise, my favorite chase scene, whatever you want to call it. It's tension right from the jump, which is really hard to do when you're opening a movie. Obviously, the phone call, and guys, we talked for like 3 hours about this movie, so I feel a little weird going through it again, but this is just so good. And I love Drew Barrymore's performance. I love everything about this scene, the ending, how she doesn't make it out. Again, it's iconic because she dies right away. We can talk about this for an hour, and you kind of talked about it already. But it's just great. It's long, it's drawn out, and the fact that at the end of the movie that there's 2 killers, you can kind of go back and watch this scene very differently, knowing that they're toying with her, like, front or back door and all that stuff. When she's hiding from them and they're searching through the house, it's really clever. The shots from outside the house, when you see Casey inside the house, so it's good. Like you're in the POV of the killer, so it adds that extra level. It's just Wes Craven kind of firing on all cylinders, and yeah, this is my second Wes Craven on my list.
I think the award of the night will go to Wes Craven as the
I think it is.
Champion of the chase scene. Yeah. So I'm so happy you have it on me. We don't have to say much more. It's just when you have a character you just met and you're that heartbroken, you're rooting for that much. I mean, you're doing something right. All right, hell yeah. All right, my number 5 is, one of the GOATs and all-timer. It's Laurie Strode from the OG Halloween.
Wow, number 5.
Yeah, it'll make sense in a little bit.
Shit.
It's my number 5. Again, we talked about Halloween for a very long time, so watch that episode. That was a very long episode, but I love talking about the OG. This is my favorite movie of all time. And that shot when she's backed up against the wall and Michael Myers slowly appears is my favorite shot in film history. And once she falls down that stairs, it's just like yelling at the screen, run, like run, bitch, fucking run. So it's just John Carpenter giving us a masterclass in horror and Jamie Lee Curtis giving us Scream Queen goodness. Again, I think she was, in that movie, she set the stage for like what a final girl is. And just seeing her run through that house, you're yelling at her because obviously he blocked the doors with the rake or whatever, and she can't open. I'm like, girl, just hit it. And she waits till the last second. You're like, oh, please hit the glass already and get out. It's just so well executed. I love when she's running outside, banging on the doors, yelling for help, and people think obviously it's Halloween. So, or she playing a trick, and this poor girl is screaming for her life, and no one's coming to save her. And then when she runs across the street, banging on the door for Tommy, and it's just like, Tommy, wake the fuck up. He's like, okay, I'm coming. I'm like, hurry up. You see Michael in the background coming towards her. It's so good. And so that's the chase scene I love, but you can even go further. I mean, once she thinks he's gone and then he pops back up, the whole chase scene when he chases her up the stairs too is just fucking all iconic. So the last like portion of Halloween 1978, that chase scene with Laurie Strode, I mean, it set the template for a lot of chase scenes to come. It's chef's kiss. I love me some Laurie Strode chases. I love me some Jamie Lee Curtis chase scenes. So it's so damn good.
Okay, I'm speechless. That's crazy to me.
It'll
That's
make
number
sense.
5. No, it doesn't make sense to me.
It'll
I'm
make sense in a little
speechless.
bit.
Holy shit. Okay. I have no comment on that. I don't... To be continued, I guess. I don't... That's crazy. Not even top 3. I mean, wow. Okay,
Your
that might be
face.
the surprise of the night for me. With you. Okay. Yeah, like you said, the only thing I'll say is that shot, like you were saying. You can write essays on it, and I'm sure it's studied in film school all over the country and the world when he appears from the shadows and she's just standing there. It's just it's so good. But that whole sequence that takes you all the way up to the end of the movie, it's just one long
Done.
chase scene. Yeah.
Done.
Yep. Okay, top 4, and I am on a roll here. This is my 3rd Wes Craven. It's going to be Nancy versus Freddy.
Woo!
Nightmare on Elm
Again,
Street.
that broke my heart. You're making me feel bitter.
Dude, my second biggest shock of the night was you not having this as well. This fucking chase scene. A lot of people pick Tina's chase and death because it's so iconic.
God, Nancy, dude.
Her death is iconic, but the actual chase scene I don't love as much.
It's creepy in the alleyway, but it's
it
not
is
really,
creepy.
You know what I mean?
But Nancy versus Freddy, I mean, it's
100%.
An all-timer. It's so creative. So we start in the dream world. Obviously, she's got this plan. She tackles him in the dream world. She goes after him. She's our final girl. She brings him to the real world. It's a back-and-forth battle. I love how she's being chased, but she's also fighting back the whole time. She has some traps in the house, and she turns and she fights a couple times. It's just so well done. It's so long and nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a long sequence. It's like probably a couple minutes long, which is pretty long for an intense chase scene like this. One of my favorite lines in horror, "Get my dad, you asshole," when she's screaming out the window. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Nancy, But she's great. When she finally sets him on fire, and again, she's pleading to the cops outside. She's like, I got him. Like, come here, hurry up, Damn. It's like, dude, why isn't anyone listening to her until her dad finally gets there? But she's a badass. She's one of my favorite final girls of all time. I think she made the top 3 for me. And this sequence is just no notes. I mean, I said Red Eye might be Wes Craven's best chase scene, but I was kind of throwing you off because this, I think, is
I'm so happy.
his best. And yeah, I have 3 Wes Craven on my top 10. Isn't that amazing?
And I think I won't wait, but yeah, Wes Craven's all over these top 10s. But you know what scene? It always got to me when she's going up the steps and it's kind of she gets stuck in the steps and she can't move. That always freaked me out because I'm like, oh, she's stuck in place and he's right behind her. Like, get out, girl, get out. Yeah. So again, what he does with that nightmare world, I mean, Wes Craven, again, gone too soon, but he definitely left his mark on the genre times 20.
I can't wait to cover that original film. It's one of my favorite films.
We haven't gotten into that franchise yet. We'll have to do that soon. But all right, I'm so happy that made your list. It makes me feel a little bit less heartbroken with your picks. All right, my number 4, and I'm going to get hate because I'm going to get called not a real horror fan. I'm going with Aaron from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Although I do love and respect the chase scene in the OG from Sally. It's just personal preference. I mean, it's so grueling in the OG. Yeah, it's so grueling. Because the whole second half movie is her being chased down. It's just so grueling. But there's something about Aaron and Jessica Biel's chase. It's just, I don't know. I just love how much she's a fighter. And it's just something to, I root. I fist pump. Whereas the OG, I'm just like, oh, this poor girl. I'm all doom and gloom, which again is what that movie's going for, but there's just something about the remake. It's just my personal preference. I think the Leatherface in the remake is way more menacing, so that has a lot to do with it as well. I really feared for her safety because of how much of a hulking presence. I love how it just starts with her in the basement, and she finds that her one friend is still alive, so she has some hope that she's not the only one. And she tries her best running away from Leatherface with him, but then she can't save him. He sacrifices himself for her. And just when she gets chased through the slaughterhouse alone, I think it might be it because there's more like creative set. Again, the OG's all timer because it's so simple and realistic, but the remake, you have the slaughterhouse chasing. She's hiding in between, the meat, and you can see her cold breath. It's just then the rain's coming down. It's just Jessica Biel was so good, and again, we haven't covered this movie yet, but it's my second favorite horror remake of all time, and I just think that whole pretty much third act sequence of her getting chased is chef's kiss. So, and it's Jessica Biel like running around in a white tank top too. So I mean, it's just so fucking good. It's so all timer. I'm obsessed with this movie. I literally wore out my DVD when this came out, and I had to buy multiple copies because of how much I watched it. So it's my fourth favorite chase scene. It's it's the best chase scene of the 2000s. So I love it.
Listeners know that we both prefer the remake to the original.
We'll rank the whole franchise, but yeah,
we apologize, but that was kind of like our sweet spot as kids when this movie came out. It's one of my earliest memories of watching a horror film. It's just so damn scary. And I think we're going to get a lot of hate because you didn't put the original and you put this over it. My number 3 is the Slaughterhouse Chase, Texas Chainsaw 03. So we're in lockstep. I mean, we're just synced right now. Yeah, that's number 3 for me. It is fucking bone-chilling, quite literally and metaphorically. Aaron getting chased through that slaughterhouse will forever stick with me. It is so scary. Like you said, Leatherface is so terrifying in this film. And the sound cues of the chainsaw are amazing. Her hiding in the meat, the frozen meat, is just, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. I love when she hides in the locker and she actually calls out to him. So she flips the tables and she actually gets one up on him and cuts his arm off. I mean, that's kind of how the movie wraps up, is he finally gets one over on him and cuts his arm. And that's kind of brings us to the conclusion of the film. But yeah, that whole chase scene is just spine-tingling. And that movie is just so important to me. I don't know. I mean, the original, I can't take anything away from Sally's chase scene at all. It is iconic. It's an all-timer. It is very terrifying. But this one just means so much more to me as a 90s kid growing up in the early 2000s that I had to put this one on instead of the original. But it does break my heart.
All right, so we'll go down together when we get the hate. But I do respect the OG and I love it so much. But I'm happy that we both pretty much almost even with our placement in that too, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3, which hopefully makes you feel a little better, is Laurie Strode, but from Halloween 2, 1981. Okay. And the reason why this one is higher than the OG is because not only is it a longer chase, it just freaks me out more, and I'm more terrified for her because not only is she chased through an abandoned hospital, but she's drugged up. So she's kind of impaired a little bit. So I just think that, again, once you hear the donut in Halloween 2, whenever I think of Halloween chase scene, I immediately, while the OG is the OG and it's the all-timer one, I am brought to Halloween 2 when I think of chase scenes. I'm not saying obviously we did a ranking. I prefer the original to this one. This is my second favorite. But Laurie Strode chase scenes, this to me is the ultimate one. She's chased through the entire goddamn hospital. And the sequence when she's hitting that button for the elevator and he's coming up behind her, I'm like, fuck, please open, open, open. It's so suspenseful. It's so good. I love the red lighting when you get to that sequence in the elevator. I love how not even when she gets out of the hospital, she's still getting chased in the parking lot. She can't even speak well. She can't move because she's all medicated up. She just had surgery. Or when Loomis goes in the house, she finally gets the ability to scream, "Help me," but it's too late. And then he chases her again to the hospital. It's just a shot of Michael Myers just fucking straight up walking through a glass door. Like fucking just like, yeah, I just did that. And then you just get the whole chase of her and Loomis through the rest of the finale. I mean, to me, it's chef's kiss Halloween chase scene. So yeah, that's why I had the original at 5, because I wasn't done with the franchise, and just Halloween 2 just ticks me a little bit more chase scene wise than Halloween 1. So I'm obsessed with this whole sequence.
Okay, don't have this. This is up there for me. I adore Halloween 2 as well. It's not as all-timer for me as it is for you. It's very well done. I just don't think the direction is there like it is in some of the other chase scenes in the franchise, and especially the original. But I respect it. It's on a lot of other people's lists too, so I can't fault you for that. I don't mind that. It's just the fact that the first one was number 5. I already know what your number 2 is. I was number 2 and number 1 are. I was afraid it was going to be this top 2, and if you guys are listening and you know Anthony, you probably know what his top 2 is.
I was so predictable what it is.
Yeah, I know. I was anticipating it, but not surprised. Yeah. Okay, let's get to my number 2 first. My number 2, talk about nostalgia. I think I saw this when I was like 6 years old. It's the Escape from the Overlook, The Shining.
Oh, hell yeah. So
one of my favorite chase scenes, one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I don't know if I've said this. It's Halloween, Jaws, and The Shining are like my top 3 horror movies of all time. It depends on my mood. They all kind of strike a different chord with me. But this ending chase scene, especially through the hedge maze, again, Danny was a little kid. I was a little kid. By this point in the movie, if you guys haven't seen The Shining, I mean, what are we doing? But, if you need a refresher, I mean, it's such a slow build up to Jack's kind of being in just crazy mode and being in, I don't even know psychosis, whatever you want to call it. That by the time you get to this scene and you have everything that happens in the Overlook, here's Johnny, he's banging through the doors with the axe. You get to this hedgeman scene, you got the snow coming down. It's obviously winter, it's dark out. Danny is going through, and then you have the iconic shots of Jack with the axe. And then obviously Danny kind of stopping in his tracks, and you're screaming, like, what are you doing, Danny? Like, keep going. But he's very smart.
He's so
and he
smart.
Backtracks, and he hides into, he dives into the bush so he can't follow his footsteps. And then that ending shot of I mean, come on. Like with Jack just sitting there frozen. It's just,
it's
chef's
so
kiss.
Scary, but it's so beautiful.
It is. Sequence. Yeah, it is. And it's the all-timer of all-timer for me.
Yeah.
It's number 2, but it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would have, my adrenaline, I don't know if I would be that smart with Danny, like going backtracking like that. I would have just kept running. I probably would have froze to death too, but yeah, The Shining is one of the greats. I cannot wait. Again, another one we have to cover. We have so much to cover. I cannot wait, but I love that number 2. All right. My number 2, because I'm a predictable bastard and I can't help it. These are just my 2 top. They always will be. They always are. My number 2 is Gale Weathers from Scream 2. Her chase scene in the auditorium to me is just. I love how everyone loves her chase scene in Scream 6, but I think that one's more action packed. The one in Scream 2 is just focused on suspense and tension. I love when first of all, when Dewey gets taken out, she's running around by herself. And then when she's like hiding behind different things and Ghostface is right behind her on the other side, like they're both like right there with each other. It's just so well directed by Wes Craven, so well acted by Courtney Cox. You can see the fear in her face. And then when she finally finds that one room, she has to watch her beloved Dewey, get stabbed a couple times and quote unquote die. She thinks he dies. It's so heartbreaking. And that scream is one of my favorite screams in horror history. I just think it's so well executed, the way that he directed it, the music. It's just paced so well. And it's the most, besides another sequence in Scream 2, it's some of the most tension and suspense I've felt in that franchise. And it just hasn't been done the same like that in these newer movies. And I really hope, since Kevin Williamson is the one who wrote that movie, that we have some sequences like that in Scream 7. We need the chase scenes back in Scream. And that just one to me has always stuck out to me as my favorite in the franchise. And it fights with my number 1 so much. But it's slightly under that. But again, kudos to Courtney Cox, because she doesn't get enough credit as a horror icon. And she killed it in that scene. And I remember being so scared for Gale Weathers the first time I saw that, thinking that she was going to get taken out. But yeah, you guys already know. We covered this movie. I'm literally obsessed with this sequence so much. One of my favorites of all time.
Okay, that's respectful. I mean, we talked about this movie. That's chase scene's not as high up for me as
Right.
it is for you. I do think it's a good chase scene. I do think it's a little bit not overrated because it is really good, but it's just not as high up for me. So I understand why you picked it though. I mean, I knew it was going to be somewhere in your
Yeah.
top 3 at least. So yeah, really well done. And Scream 2 is really
My
well
baby.
done movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's your baby. Okay, we'll get to our number ones now. Drum roll, please.
I know you're number
I think
one.
you know based on my reaction from earlier. It's Michael Chase's Laurie.
Yeah.
Halloween 1978. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. It's my favorite horror sequence, let alone chase scene of all time. It's just perfection personified. The entire build up to this movie, it all culminates in this moment when Laurie goes and checks on her friends across the street, and she goes and she doesn't see one friend, she doesn't see two friends, she sees I think it's all 3 of her friends in the same bedroom, all dead at once. And it's like overwhelming for the viewer, for the audience. It's overwhelming for our girl Laurie. And the build up to that is just so iconic. The score that sets in when she sees the friends. Like you talked about, the iconic shot of Michael in the shadows is just, I mean, what can you say? It's one of the greatest shots of all time, if not the greatest shot of all time. When she gets outside, I've talked about how terrifying the outside shots are. I love how she runs to the next door neighbor's house. She doesn't run to the Doyle's house right away because she wants to. I think in that moment she doesn't want to put them in harm's way. I think that's why she ran next door first, and it's so heartbreaking when they turn the porch light on and off.
Fucking bastards.
And so she knows she's fucked. And then once she runs across the street, I mean, this particular moment when she's banging on the door and you finally see Michael coming from the backyard from the shadows and walking across the street, it keeps cutting back and forth. I think we talked about this particular shot for like 15 minutes on our review. I mean, it's just insane. Tommy Doyle waking up and the build up, and then it's a kind of a dump because she finally makes it inside and she locks the door, and we can like take a sigh of relief, but it gets right back into it because Michael comes back into the house through the window, and there's another iconic chase scene. She stabs him with the needle. I love when Tommy is like, "You can't kill the boogeyman," as he appears behind her. I mean, everything is so perfect about this moment, and that's why I was so shocked it was number 5 for you. But I respect it. It's all good. When she hides in the closet, again, this is kind of the culmination of the chase when she finally gets him in the eye with the hanger, whatever. And yeah, he gets back up again. It's just
perfect, dude.
I can talk about this
movie.
for so long. It's my favorite sequence in horror ever, and it had to be number 1. There was no debate. It was always going to be my number 1 when I started this list, and it's an all-timer sequence. I mean, because the movie is such a slow build-up,
right,
and it's all the stalking, and Laurie finally gets confirmation that this guy is, a killer chasing after her, and she's not crazy. It's just such a big adrenaline dump, and it's just so well done.
I mean, it's the perfect movie. Again, it's my favorite movie of all time. I don't like how the newer, again, whatever. I don't like how some newer generation, like, it's too simple and not, I'm like, I disagree because they try, again, I'm not hating on, but they tried to replicate that sequence in Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's nowhere near as effective. Everything was firing on all cylinders, and it works because it's so simple, but they were working their asses off to get that sequence down. It's not like it was simple, they didn't try. No.
Yeah.
They really put in the work to make it.
That's what makes it so great.
It's so real. It feels so real and terrifying. And
it's been copied so many times. I mean, people even say that Nancy versus Freddy in Nightmare is very similar. There are some sequences in that chase scene that are very similar to the house chase in Halloween. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. Obviously, the simplicity is what's so terrifying about it. And I mean, I would even push back on that because there are some great moments in that chase scene where 100%. She kind of fights back and everything. So I don't understand why people would even say that. The cleverness
of John Carpenter slowly focusing on her walking across the street into danger when we already know what's in there, and then to see what happens on the back end of that. Oh, God, I would love that. That's my favorite movie.
I wish I do. We've said this before, but more than any other movie, I wish I could go back to 1978 and go into a packed theater when she And when she finds her friends and people are screaming because everyone knows that he's in the house somewhere and she's just standing there.
I've watched like the audience reaction clips. I don't know if you've seen them too. It's so good. Yeah. Have you seen this? Have you seen this in theaters at all? The OG?
No.
Okay, because even just to go see it on the big screen is like.
No, I haven't gotten the chance to.
Fucking
amazing.
I bet. So put that on the list. We'll have to go do that again.
Yeah.
But all right, I mean, I'm not gonna argue that again. It's my favorite movie of all time. We had not only have we had Halloween a few times, but literally Laurie Strode twice on my list alone. So again, I'm not gonna argue with Halloween being your number one. But not
so
number one.
You had 3 Halloween.
Yep, I had 2 Laurie Strodes, and then I had Jamie Lloyd. So pretty much the big protagonist of the Halloween franchise made my list. And Laurie Strode made it. She's the only duplicate on my list, so says a lot for that franchise and for her. But my number one is, to me, the chase scene of horror of slashers. It is Helen Shivers from I Know We Did Last Summer. I just don't think you get any better when it comes specifically to chase sequences alone. Not only because it's Sarah Michelle Gellar, and it's a character who throughout the movie we really grow to love and we want to make it out. I agree with you 100%. I get it what people are saying, should have been the final girl. First of all, don't disrespect my girl, Julie James. But second of all, I think I agree with you. It's so special because you want her to be the final girl, but she doesn't make it. That's what gives you the gut punch where she did all that fighting. She did all of that. She did everything right in fighting back, but she still couldn't make it. I get at the end she looks back when she should have just kept running, but he was already in front of her. So no matter what, she probably wouldn't have made it out anyway. Again, that's a never split up moment that she does that, but he might have gotten to her anyway. It's just so heartbreaking that, our girl goes through so much and she dies. She literally, again, like you said, the scream and when she's locked in the back of the car alone and she has to break out. Talk about heels. She does some running in heels through the streets to get to her sister's store. I love the shot of like the fisherman's silhouette when she's running through the town. You just see his shadow coming after her. It's fucking just perfect on all levels. I love, again, we get a nod to Halloween right there when she's banging on the door for Elsa to open, but Elsa's taking her sweet old time just like Tommy did in the OG. So they're kind of intertwined, our 2 number ones, if you think about it, how they play out. So I love that. And then that chasing alone is all-timer, but then her sister gets killed and she's chased through the whole store. She has to go rig up that elevator, get up, he's slashing at her with the hook, and then she runs to the empty room. She's cornered, but she's still smart enough to break the window and jump out, where 99% of other people in horror movies would just die right there. But no, again, she's fighting. She falls down, gets up, she runs, she sees the parade, and unfortunately she just doesn't make it. But I just think that it's so extended and so well executed. The music's perfect. To me, when anyone asks what makes a good chase scene in a slasher or horror movie, I'm like, go watch I Know We Did Last Summer, because that is the chase scene to end all chase scenes. And it hasn't been replicated since I saw that movie. And I'm really hoping that I know the director's obsessed with these movies, but I know how also people have not as much attention spans these days, so they like to get to the kills. I just really hope that she took notes for the first 2 movies. I would say even Brandy in Part 2 has a chase scene, but I hope she takes notes and gives us 90s people who love slasher movies the goods, and we get a couple really good chase scenes. So this is always my favorite chase scene. I don't think it's ever gonna be topped, and I'm just so excited that we're getting another installment soon. But again, love you, Helen Shivers, rest in peace. But I agree 100% with you that it hits so well because she doesn't make it. And again, that's my theme on this top 10 is everyone who's on it, I want them to make it out. And I think I'm the most heartbroken when Helen Shivers doesn't make it out. So this is, to me, it's just chef's kiss. You don't get better than this. So yeah, I had my theme of this was Halloween and 90s slashers for the most part. I love it.
There's something special about such an iconic chase scene in the middle of a movie too. It's not the ending sequence. So she had to die almost, because if she lives, I don't think this chase scene is as revered and iconic and talked about, 20 plus 30 years later.
Yeah.
The fact that it's in the middle of the movie and she's a big death of the movie, and it's what you think about as you go towards the third act.
She sets up the third act.
Yeah. It's just so well done. I have no notes. It just doesn't mean as much to me.
Yeah, I get
as
it.
you. I mean, that's the only reason why it wasn't higher on my list, but it still made, number 7 for me. I have no notes. It's a perfect chase scene. I wouldn't change anything about it for sure.
I also think that Jennifer Love Hewitt is the main character, but they kind of play it well where like the 4 of them for the most part are on equal footing. Like for most, they're like kind of all the leads. So I think that helps out a lot of the movie too, and that sequence too, because she is a co-lead pretty much with Jennifer Love Hewitt, and you're like, fuck, we're losing one of them. So good.
Okay, that wraps up our favorite chase scenes in horror, guys. That was a really fun time. We got through it. I guess we'll go down our list one more time just to kind of recap. I'll go first. So at number 10, I have the subway scene in American Werewolf in London. Number 9, I have the laundry chute scene in Halloween 5. Number 8 is the airport chase in Red Eye. Number 7, we just talked about it, Helen Shivers in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Number 6 is the sailboat scene in Jaws 2. Number 5, top 5, Casey Becker in the original Scream, of course, the opening of Scream. Number 4, I have the iconic Nancy versus Freddy battle and chase in The Nightmare on Elm Street. And my top 3, number 3, I have the slaughterhouse chase in Texas Chainsaw 2003. Number 2, I have Escape from the Overlook, the hedge maze scene in The Shining. And number 1 is Michael chases Laurie in Halloween 1978.
All right, I love it. All right, guys, my number 10 is Paige, Paris Hilton from House of Wax. My number 9 is Chris from Friday the 13th Part 3, her little sequence at the end. My number 8 is Sasha Tara Reid from Urban Legend and her radio station. My number 7 is Jamie Lloyd in Halloween 5, the laundry chute scene. My number 6 is Sidney Prescott in Scream 3, the stab set piece chase scene. My number 5 is Laurie Strode in Halloween, the OG. My number 4 is Aaron in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, the Slaughterhouse, whole extended third act of that movie. My number 3 is Laurie Strode in Halloween 2, in the hospital at the end. My number 2 is Gail Weathers in Scream 2, at the soundstage in the auditorium. My number 1 is Helen Shivers in I Know What You Did Last Summer. And we have 4 overlaps. I did the math when you were doing your recap.
Okay.
So we had some overlap.
We did, yeah, we did. But I think we also had some very different feeling lists. I kind of went a little bit more broader. I went with the creature features. I went with the thrillers. So, yeah, let us know whose list you agree with more. I want to hear your all-time favorite chase scene in horror, and all you listeners. Leave us a comment, and I'm sure you're going to run some polls for this episode. So look out for those polls on our social media at Never Split Up Pod. And follow us on TikTok. We're starting to get a little following on TikTok. That I run the TikTok account, and
you're in charge.
I'm having fun over there. Kind of. That's where you can kind of see clips of our show. I know you do the YouTube shorts as well, but if you're also on TikTok, I do kind of different clips than we do on YouTube to mix it up a bit. So check that out as well. It's at Never Split Up Pod. But until next time, that was a fun episode, and we'll see you next week for Creature of the Black Lagoon. We're going to get back into our movie reviews, and see you later, guys. Bye.